Are you still relying on a monolithic server or simple local functions to generate application keys or SSH keys? Stop. That approach is slow, costly, and definitely not scalable. Today, I'm going to show you how I built a fully managed, highly scalable, and cost-effective key generation service using AWS serverless technology. So this is my serverless KeyGen application, and we're going to dive deep into the architecture and get this deployed in minutes. So let's dive in. So the problem with traditional key generation is overhead. So you pay for a server 24/7 even when it's just sitting idle waiting for a request, and you are also going to manage its security and scaling for peak demand, and that's a headache as well. So this solution is simple, that is serverless key generation, and it's built to be inherently scalable, only costs you when a key is actually generated, and leverages AWS serverless security features. So we are using AWS Lambda for the core logic, Amazon DynamoDB to securely store and manage the keys, the API gateway to expose a secure and scalable endpoint. It's modern, developer-friendly way to handle the key management. Now let's look under the hood and how exactly we developed this project. So if you see the simple architecture here, so the journey starts when an external application or the client sends a request to our API gateway endpoint. So this API gateway is configured with a secure method to trigger our core service. So the request then hits the Lambda server or the Lambda function, which is the heart of the application. So this small efficient piece of code does the three main things here. Firstly, it generates a cryptographically secure key. Second, it validates the request for parameters like the key's expiry time or associated user ID. Third, it securely writes that key along with its main metadata, right? So that will be dumped into your DynamoDB table. So DynamoDB is perfect here because it gives us millisecond latency, which is critical for quick key lookups, and it scales effortlessly without any management from our end. So once the key is written, so the Lambda function sends the key back through the API gateway on the requesting application or the client which sent the request. Now, I'm sure that you want to get this running yourself. So before that, let's understand the key features, right? So you can use multiple types of keys with this application, like you can generate RSA, ED based or ECDSA, and it's asynchronous processing. Basically, the request that you send, it's going to land in SQS service as a queue. It will process the request once in a while, and it is going to generate the key and give it back to you. And you can also set the auto expiration. So the keys will be deleted after 24 hours, meaning the DynamoDB only holds the data of previous day, and your key will be secure, and it will have the default key timer set on that, and the expiration is matched with that key timing. And security wise, the key is generated in memory and it's not written into any disk. And I'm using Docker ECR repository here. So KeyGen, SSH KeyGen is a container that I'm using. So it's going to use that in the backend, and it is going to generate the key and give it back to us. So it's cost effective. Basically, if you are sending or generating 10,000 keys per month, so you're going to spend $0.4 per month. And the prerequisites are real simple. So you just need an AWS account, and you should have a local Terraform installed on your local machine or your dev environment, and AWS CLI configured, and Docker desktop or Docker should be installed on your local machine wherever you are running this project. So the project structure is simple. So if you see here, I have a Terraform folder which holds all the Terraform related information. I have Lambda folder which holds Lambda related code and the Terraform script which deploys the Lambda function. And I also have web app folder which is containing index.html file, a simple HTML file similar to this, as you can see on screen, where you select a key, and there is an option, additional thing that I've added after this screenshot, which is to set the expiration date for your key, right? So if you select that and then click on generate key pair, the key will be generated along with the public and the private key, and you can start using that public key and the private. Okay, so that's how simple it is. And you also have a readme file, that is this one which you are seeing, and all you have to do is configure your AWS. So if you do not know how to configure, just run AWS configure after installing the CLI, and you should provide the API key and the secret, and once you provide that, you will have the AWS CLI configured good for you. Then make sure Docker is installed correctly just by check by running docker ps, and all you have to do is get inside this folder, which is Serverless KeyGen Application, and then run scripts/deploy.sh. So I've developed a convenient script which is going to deploy the application, the Terraform script, along with the building of the Docker image and all those things. So what I've done is I've cloned this repository onto my local machine. So you should install all the prerequisites and only then try to deploy this app. So first, let's understand the structure of the code and what are the important details that I want to share, and later let us go ahead and deploy this app. So let me open my favorite IDE, and if you see here, I have Lambda, which is my first folder. If I expand that, you have three Lambda functions: fetch, process, and submit. So submit is when you hit the Lambda function or hit the API gateway, that will send the request to your Lambda function. That is submit, and it will process the request. The processor will process the request, and fetch will get your key from the processor or your ECR or your Docker container. And once that is there, you will get the key back to your Lambda function, and then Lambda function will send it back to the user who requested it. So if I want to show that submit handler Python code, this is how it looks. If you see here, we will give the queue URL, which is set as an environment variable, and you can see the SQS queue URL here. So this is going to generate a unique request ID and enqueues the request to the SQS. So the request is sent to SQS. If you see here, the key type and whatever the key type that we select, based on that, it is going to generate the request key and send it to the SQS. So it will basically generate that and send it to the SQS queue, and then the processor will pick that code. So let me show that processor. So if you see here in the processor, we are generating a handler.py. So if you see this is going to generate SSH key pair based on the specified type, whatever you are selecting, and it returns the public key and the private key and the fingerprint is required. So that is what is happening in this particular code. And on top of this, we are generating the Docker file here. If you see here, I'm creating an ECR repository, and I'm just copying the requirement.txt here. If you see, cryptography and Boto3 are the required functions, and I'm just passing the requirements here, and I'm installing the requirement.txt, and I'm copying the handler.py and building this Docker file. And once the Docker file is created, it is going to dump this into as an image into my ECR repository. So after this, the fetch request is called. So this is going to convert, basically it is going to handle the get/request-id request. So basically it is going to retrieve the key generation results from your DynamoDB, and it will also store the metadata in your DynamoDB, right? So that is what this part of code is doing. That's about Lambda direct. Now let's go into script. So let's see the script later, but before that, let's go into Terraform. So API is having all the Terraform scripts related to API. So it has got main.tf, output.tf, and variables.tf. And infrastructure, it is a basic infrastructure like SQS and DynamoDB will be created infrastructure. And Lambda, it's going to package your web application, and it's going to create your Lambda functions that are required. And then we have the web application, main.tf, and you also have the web application itself, which is required, right? So if you see, if I expand web app, you have index.html and the readme file. So I'm not going to explain all the Terraform scripts in detail because I'm sure all of my viewers know the basics of Terraform. So I've used the basics only, nothing complicated here. I've used some modules and I've created this project. So if you want more details on this, let me know in the comments. If you find any issues, I'll help you out. So that's about the script itself. So now let's go ahead and deploy this. So what I've done is, always whenever I'm building a side project or any weekend project that I build, I always use one of the EC2 instance as my dev environment. So if I mess up anything, I can destroy that EC2 instance and get rid of. But imagine if you're using your local machine and something goes wrong, then it will be a problem. To avoid that, I have my EC2 instance up and running. So I'm going to deploy this application using that. So I'm not saying that I'm deploying it on the EC2. I'm going to use that as a platform to deploy this app. So let me log into the EC2 instance and get back. All right. So if you see here, I've logged into my development EC2 instance. Now, if I just run ls-lrt, you should be seeing the same repository clone. So let me get inside Serverless KeyGen Application. So let me clear the screen and show what are the files that are present. And you can see pretty much all the files that we discussed are present inside this as well. Now, let us go to the repository and deploy this. So to deploy this code, like I mentioned, all you have to do is use this deploy.sh script. It's a convenient script that I've developed. So basically it contains just the information like Terraform, apply if and of an auto approve, and it is also going to check if if AWS configure is performed correctly or not. So after that, it is going to help you deploy the application. So I'll just paste that and I'll hit enter. So if you see, firstly, it is checking all the prerequisites. All the prerequisites are met. Then it is verifying all the AWS credentials. Then it initialized the Terraform. It also checked if Docker is running or not. And it is also checking, giving you the plan of, Terraform. And then it is deploying the application itself. So that's what you can see here. So basically, it is going to create your ECR repository, your SQS, your DynamoDB, and the required S3 bucket in order to host your front-end application. So it's not going to take much of your time. At least it should be done within a minute or two. So let's give that moment. So tada, I think it's done already, but it's building the ECR repository and it's building the image itself. So let's give it a moment. I think it should be done within few minutes, within few seconds, sorry. So it's done. It's almost there. So once that is done, it's going to upload this to the ECR repository. So I think that step is also done. Now it is deploying the application by running a Terraform apply. It's showing you the details again. The convenience script is so intelligent that it will go ahead and deploy the other resources which are not dependent on building the image, and it will come back and redeploy what are the things that are required after creating the image itself. So that is smart. So it's still creating. So let's see how much time it takes. I'm keeping it raw so that you can also understand if there is any issues. I'm going to troubleshoot then and there so that you also get that feeling of doing it on yourself, right? So just for that reason, I'm not going to skip the deployment part, or I'm not going to skip this part. So I think it's complete now. Apply is complete. If you see, 31 resources got added, and you can see the API endpoint, the DynamoDB table name, ECR repository, SQS queue, and the web app URL. First, let's get into the AWS console and check one by one what are all the resources that are developed, right? So first, let's go into the API gate. Okay, so let me go into my AWS console. Let's search for API gateway. So if you see here, it has created an API gateway with the name KeyGen API. So if I go in there, I have post request and the get request. Like I mentioned in the Lambda function, first post request, it's going to post the request to the Lambda function, and it's going to create the key. So once the key is generated, the get request will go ahead and call that and get the request or the key generated to your client. So that's what your KeyGen API is doing. So let's go back and check what's the next thing. That is DynamoDB table. So there is a table with the name, let's go ahead and type it. So I'll go to DynamoDB. Let's go to tables, and you can see the table with the name KeyGen results. And if I go there, and you can see the information about the table itself, right? So that's how you can see this, right? And you can also explore the table items here. Basically, let's check that, right? So let's go ahead and click on view table details, and you can see all the information related to this table, right? So if you want to set the TTL, time to live, like I mentioned, it's going to keep the data for 1 day. So if you want to set that in the code itself, you can do that. I've set that so that it becomes easy for you to deploy this app. So that's about DynamoDB. Now let's go back and check what's the other thing. That's ECR. So let me search for ECR here. It has, I think it should be created one ECR repository for us. So let's go ahead and check that. And if you see KeyGen processor, the image is latest one. And if you see, it was just created, and we are utilizing this in order to run our application, right? So you can see this, the image details here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and check what are the other things. That is SQS. So let me open SQS, search for SQS, simple queue service, and we can see KeyGen request. This is our request, and if you go to Lambda triggers, you can see one of the Lambda function is added here. Basically, it is going to trigger the Lambda function, and it is going to get the result and store it there, right? So that's the trigger or the SQS, and we also have web app URL stored in our S3 bucket, and this is the endpoint to access the application itself. So let me grab that URL, go to my favorite browser, paste that URL here, and if you see here, this is the web interface. Of course, you can go ahead and enhance this. So you can select the key depending on your use case. I'm going to select this one, RSA 4096 bit highly secured, and I'm going to set this to probably, let's say, tomorrow. Okay, so I want the key to be expiring tomorrow. So let's go ahead and select the date and time according to that. So I'm going to say 12 a.m. Okay, so once you're happy with that, then go ahead and click on generate key. Observe this, it's sending a request. The request ID is this one, and it's waiting for the processing, and it's waiting for the result, and then the key pair is generated. And you can see the type is RSA 4096, and it's generated time, and it expires on this day, and it's all UTC based, and it is also giving you the fingerprint so that you can double check. And this is your public key, and this is your private. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to show you is, let's go ahead and inspect inspect this. So if I go to network here, so let me clear this. Now just observe this. I'm going to change this, for example, let's say 1, and let me generate it. So if you see here, keygen, the request is submitted and its status is queued. Basically, it is sending the request to the SQS queue, and then the request ID is this one, and the status is complete, and it has already created the key and the public key and the generation time, the fingerprint and expired set. All the details are provided to you. Of course, you can enhance the front-end application and things like that, but this is how you can automate things that you are doing on day-to-day basis. So this is just a simple project to demonstrate how serverless can help you in general. And cool thing is that whenever you're sending the request, only then the ECR repository will be used to create the key itself. So the rest of the time, all the things will be idle, and you'll be paying only less amount compared to what you have on the server side itself. So this is what I wanted to show you in this particular video. If you are liking the content that I'm creating, please consider subscribing and share it with your friends. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.